Hey,
what's good?
Hey,
Man, look, we back on another week with another banging podcast, and I know y'all see what's down below me. That says legendary band directors. That's right. This week we got some of our legendary band directors from the Dallas, Texas area coming to share their thoughts and opinions, not only on band culture, but on the auxiliary as well. And I'm excited for this conversation, man. It's like having this is like, when you go to church and you got to get on the pulpit and speak in front of the congregation and the pastor is looking at you. This is that moment for me. Like, it's when you really get to talk amongst some of what we consider our legends or our OGs in the band game here in the Dallas, Texas, or Texas area in the South, because they have a name. Like, they have competed across many of things, and I'm excited. What do you think, Quay?
I'm excited. I never really got to talk to the band directors. I've always just been, kind of separated. So I'm actually excited. I'm excited to know how they plan things, run things, what their mind comes up with all the great ideas. So I don't know. Let's just get into it. I'm ready.
Look, you come from that auxiliary background, so this will be your chance to really ask some of those questions that you may have been wondering in the back of your head, because look, they're going to have some experience or some knowledge on some of the things, because they've been in the game and they've served their time, and now it's time for them to drop some of them same gems and nuggets that I've gotten, because I know all three of them, so I've been able to get a little bit from each of them. But this time I know I'm still going to get something, because you never get it all in one setting. So I'm super excited about that. Quay, we got to start off with our question, as we always ask. What do you think the state of the auxiliary is this week?
This week, I believe the state of the auxiliary is going to be about just learning what band directors really live through. So I just want to know, like, how they think, what makes things great for them, and just how do they keep it going? How do they deal with all of these personalities? Because I'm a teacher and I only deal with probably like 20 students at a time, but you got a whole band. So I want to know, like, how you do it, where your mind is when you're doing these things. So I'm excited. Let's just get
Um,
to it. Come on. What's
Look,
your
and y'all already know. Look, the state of the auxiliary is legendary band directors. I ain't gotta say much else. The state of the auxiliary for me this week is legendary band directors because I know a lot of y'all are like, well, what the band director got to do with it? But I think if you've been watching our episodes, and you've been watching our shows from episode 2, we found out from Terrence Johnson that the band director, the auxiliary director falls under the band director. So the
right?
band director is over auxiliary. Okay. The band director does give out the marching orders. The band director gives out that information. So we definitely know the band director plays a critical role in these programs that we see from the marching band aspect. Now, if we're talking about from the community team aspect, you don't have a band director, but y'all emulate what you see the marching band do. So we definitely want to make sure that we're giving our props and our kudos to these legendary band directors and the band directors at large, because we know that they put in countless hours, days, nights, weekends, years, decades, and all the things they've taken to get to the point of where they can teach, direct, and share their visions and dreams across the lands.
Yes.
Look, we're ready. We're not going to delay y'all. We got a good
Okay.
panel lineup tonight, and we're going to get through these announcements, and we're going to get into the things. So, of course, y'all know tonight, again, we have our legendary band directors on tonight. We have Dean Hill from Townview, from Oliver Wendell Holmes, from all the things, from Bishop College. I mean, we are just excited to have him on tonight. Y'all, look, y'all don't understand how scared I was to ask Mr. Hill to be a part of this podcast, but I got through it. I got through my fears. My best friend at Winter told me, Brandon, just do it.
Yes, just
And I'm
do it.
for that, because look, I wasn't gonna ask because I was scared. I was like, look, I ain't never asked Mr. Hill for nothing. I don't know how to do that. I get orders, not asked, but that's fine. And then we have our Mr. Xavier Gunter coming in. Now, many of y'all are probably gonna know him from Skyline, possibly Sunset, but probably most notably, y'all gonna remember him from that mid 2000 eras when Samuel High School, the Spartan Legion, was coming through and raining HE double hockey sticks on all the people, baby. It came out of nowhere. So we got on tonight, definitely gonna give us a lot of information. And for our twirlers that come on each and every night and share their opinions with us, we want y'all to know too that somebody spoke him up last week, because we already knew he was coming.
Okay.
I spoke him up last week. I was like, wait a minute, didn't Sock
How
have
to
a
it?
twirler that was a guy?
I
That's
know
him.
who it was.
So he's definitely going to have some input there on the twirling aspect and auxiliary aspect, as well as the band director aspect. So he's playing both roles, and we appreciate him for that. And we also have, coming all the way from the David W. Carter, as of his last high school that he taught at, I think, but his David W. Carter High School, we got the renowned, revered, the legendary Douglas Baskins on. And we know, look, my brother marched under this guy. And because he marched under the Mr. Baskins, he went to the Southern University. So, he's a legendary, and he comes all the way from Cowboy Nation. We appreciate him for that. And I got to work alongside of this man too. So I know he is full of nuggets and just life and his passion for music and just the performing arts in general. We love. So we're excited for that. So y'all better tag the people, get them in, tell them all your OGs are on tonight. All right. Now we got a couple of announcements with our audition seasons. We only got a few left that are still available. So this week, we still have the Orchesis Dance Company from Grambling State University. They still have their auditions going on Saturday, April 27th. Of 2024 at the Assembly Center Room 163 at 12 p.m. If you're still looking to dance, y'all, and you want all genres of dance, the Orchesis Dance Company is definitely the genre for you. That's the team for you. Not only do the marching band and the majorette style, but they do all styles. They are a dance company. So make sure you join, check out the Orchesis at Grambling State University. We have the University of Arkansas Pine Bluff Golden Girl Clinic of 2024 happening. Actually, it happened yesterday. See, look, but it happened yesterday, but that's okay, because if you didn't go, you still got chances for audition, because their auditions are April 27th through the 28th, which is next weekend. So we want to make sure that you are ready for the Golden Girls of University of Arkansas Pine Bluff, or known as the M4GGs. And they also offer band scholarships. So if you still need a little help on that money tip,
that's really good.
GGs.
A lot of teams don't have the opportunity.
Baby, you know the girls, the prancing J-Sets of Jackson State University they've announced their captain. I'm excited for that. They're having their auditions. Applications were due March 8th through 10th, but the final audition process is May 17th through the 19th. That is a 3-day audition. Lord, have mercy.
So
No,
that means come ready and come prepared because they're not
yeah,
playing with
yeah.
people.
That's in person, May 17th through 19th. You can do application and fee. So you still have a chance to get it in if you want to do it based on what I see on the flyer. So look, if you want to be in the Prancing J sets, y'all know they got swag. Go ahead and check out Jackson State University. We got the girls from Southern University, the Fabulous Dancing Dolls. Their auditions are May 4th. Applications were due May 15th, but hopefully you got that application in. And May 4th, in-person auditions will happen at Isaac Greggs Band Hall. We have the Silkette and Spartan Guards pre-auditioning training and auditions going on. They do have multiple dates available. That is Norfolk State for those who are not aware. And your next audition, pre-audition date and audition is May 4th. Then you have May 18th, June 1st, June 8th, and July 6th. All of those will be from 10 to 1 p.m. at Norfolk State University at Norfolk State University. They also offer scholarships, so make sure you do that. You can report to the band hall if you're going to go there, so definitely make sure you check out the Silkettes and the Spartan Guards. Okay, they got a whole male flag line, so people don't be understanding. There's a lot of people out here doing things differently. We have the Royal Dolls flag line that are looking for freshmen to come audition. Their auditions are going to happen April 24th, which is this Wednesday. I'm sorry, no, they have a Google Classroom meeting on April 24th, and that code is here on the screen. And then your submissions for auditions will have to be due by April 25th at 5 p.m. So they're doing a virtual audition for the Royal Doll flag line. Now, this next one just came out the woodworks this week, and we're excited for this before we get into all the things. Now, Quay, they bringing out this battle of the bands in the spring. Dallas is getting a jamboree. It's Too Loud Jamboree that is brought to you by DG Fine Arts and the WW Samuel Marching Sound System Booster Club. We have 5 magnificent bands that are going to be attending that, and 3 of the bands that are represented here tonight in their past are represented on this flyer. We have Townview High School, Sunset High School, Samuel High School, Carter High School, and the Kimball Night Train. This is going to be done at May 4th, 2024 at Forrester Field Stadium. That's in Pleasant Grove area for those who are not familiar with the Dallas area, not far from Skyline High School. So make sure y'all come out and check out It's Too Loud Jamboree on May 4th. All right, that is going to be a good time had up in there. What's up, Shell Way? She says, I'm excited. Look, we excited.
Yes, we excited too, girl.
Ready. Look, you know, we had to bring out the OGs. We was having this conversation the other day. She was like, look, you got the people out. I said, look, God is good.
All the time.
All right, look, we got through a couple of announcements, but before we bring up our first guest, in just a minute, we got 1 or 2 last things. Of course, we got Passion and Performance. Quay, what's going on with Passion and Performance?
Passion and Performance will be back in session next month in May. Stay tuned. If you need any information, go ahead and follow my Instagram at passionandperformance__, and you will receive the flyers and information for my next classes next month.
And you know, we'll also put up promotionals here as well. So you'll be looking out for any Passion and Performance. That's for stretching, for majorette, for stands, for your adults hill class, collegiate prep, all the things will be happening through Passion and Performance. And y'all know this is the owner and CEO of Passion and Performance right here to my left, to your left. All right. So that is the owner of Passion and Performance. So look, we got to make sure we set it out this year. Okay. Now, brought to you by Passion and Performance, we have Auxiliary the Collegiate Way Camp. We're bringing it back this year for our 2nd year in a row. And this year we're doing a double take. That's right. We've told y'all, we let the cat out the bag. We are doing a privatized camp this year. as well as a public camp. The flyer is representation of the public camp that you're going to see, because I told you the first one is private. All right. And it's June 3rd through June 7th, 2024, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. This camp is welcome from all sixth graders all the way through community college age students. The camp is $150 plus tax. Let me throw that on there. All right. $150 plus tax. Money. Look, we have 8 collegiate instructors coming from the twirlers, from the flag, your color guards, take care of your twirl team, and 6 dance instructors coming from various teams to come and teach, train, and give it to you real. Now, this is not your ordinary stand camp.
It's not. This camp is very
ordinary stand camp. All right. We specialize in all the things. So you'll get some marches, you'll get some struts, you'll get some stands, you'll get all of that. But you're going to get that field show. You're going to get that technique. You're going to get that core training. The things that we don't spend the time on is what we're going to get here. So make sure you come out and check out this camp. There will be a free showcase open to the public on June 7th. Showcase will start around 4:30, 5 o'clock p.m. I have that posted, and I'll make sure I give the updated times on that. And it's going to be housed at Cedar Valley, okay? Cedar Valley Community College, or Dallas College Cedar Valley Campus, which is what it's now called. It'll be there, and we'll be in the gymnasium, okay? In the gymnasium at Cedar Valley College. That's where you can meet us at on the day of. Make sure you apply. We're starting to see those registrations pop on in. Don't be on CP time and miss your spot.
Get your spot down.
The spots are filled. And I'm telling you right now, if you saw the camp last year and you attended it, you know that was just out of year 1. So year 2 is bound to be better. All right. We got people calling us to come to other cities. So y'all better get a part of it now before the train gets moving. All right. Real quick, we'll go through our quick video clip, and then we're going to get ready for interview number 1.
Hey, y'all. I'm Coach Quay.
And I'm Coach Brandon.
And we're inviting you to come join us at Auxiliary the Collegiate Way. You'll be getting trained by some of the best HBCU dancers in the SWAC. You'll be learning marches and struts, stands, and choreography. This is not your ordinary stand camp. You'll be learning some of the baddest field shows on the floor.
And this camp is not just for the dancers, it's also for our twirlers and our color guard. That's right, we have collegiate instructors coming specifically to train our twirlers and our color guards on the level it takes to be a collegiate twirler and a collegiate color guard on the field and in the stands.
Oh! And don't forget about the showcase.
That's right, the showcase. On June 7th, we're inviting you out to come support the campers as we put on a showcase. Last year's showcase was amazing, so imagine what this year's showcase will be. The camp dates are June 3rd through 7th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Camp registration per dancer is $150. However, if you are a team and you're going to be bringing 10 or more dancers, we have a special payment link for you. Hit us personally on the Passion in Performance contact. All right? Make sure you come out. Quay, let's get out of here. Hit him with the ocean beat. Oh, you ain't leaving me behind. I'm coming right after you, sis. I'm coming.
I better register. Go ahead, get your ticket.
I better register. I'm telling y'all, look, we laugh at this commercial every time we see it, and we the ones that did it. And that was all impromptu stuff, but we laugh at it. But there's going to be an updated commercial coming with some more footage of the instructors that are coming. Look, I'm telling y'all, we got Priscilla Marine from the Prancing J Says. She was the ace. Y'all know, look, that Hispanic girl changed the culture over there at Jackson State. Y'all better know it, okay? We got Brianna Smith, COVID captain from ASU, the Stingettes. We got the Kyrie Walker coming from Skyline, but coming from the Dancing Dolls, the fabulous Dancing Dolls. But she's a Skyline graduate, a silhouette. Hey. Look, she's coming back to teach right here in her hometown. We have Troy Seawood of Grambling Orchesis coming. Look, I'm telling y'all, we bringing the people. We got Kamisha Archie coming from Alcorn State Golden Girls. We got the people coming. We got Prairie View A&M Twirling Thunder represented, Shamiria Hall, a former TALMU graduate. Look, we got Kimani Arrington, the girl that set that video of fire, Platinum Girls from Texas Southern University. I'm telling y'all, we have a lineup. We got Kaylin. Kaylin's coming back from Motion of the Ocean. That girl said, I need a double dose. Okay. Look, when your instructors want to come back after a year, you know your camp is doing something right. So I'm letting y'all know now. Y'all better sign up for this camp. Look, the slots are getting full. You better tag somebody who knows somebody. Y'all better get some sponsors to get in that camp. We got to make sure they get paid. Look, we got a lot of sponsors coming. They staying for 2 weeks. Look, 2 weeks. We got to get them paid. All right. So, all right, we're going to go ahead and get ready to get our first guest up. Look, we got our first interview of the night. And look, I am just as peacock proud as I could ever be, as your grandma would say. Look, I'm peacock. Okay. Look, we got our first panel guest coming up tonight. Look, y'all know he gonna drop nuggets. All of them are gonna drop the nuggets, but you know this one is gonna drop some nuggets for us tonight and school us. He has schooled generation upon generation, decade upon decade, family member upon family member. I am so proud to call him my band director, the guy who has trained and coached me and shown me a lot of the ways of the band world. We have none other. Y'all, who is this? Who is this? Who is this? Now, some of y'all gonna know this version of him. I didn't know this version of him. Okay, I got him a little bit shorter haircut later, but some of y'all would know this version of him. I remember him a little more as this version. Okay, just a little bit more this version. Okay, y'all give it up for our first guest of the night, all the way from retirement land, the Professor Dean Hill.
Hey,
Mr. Hill.
Oh man.
Oh wait, we can't hear you. We can't hear you, Mr. Hill.
Okay.
We can't hear you yet. Go out and come back in.
Yeah.
It's okay. Go out and come back in. It happens, y'all. It's technology issues. It's okay. We're gonna get it fixed. He was talking earlier to us, so we know it's there. So give us just a second and we'll get it taken care of. But Mr. Hill is coming in. Y'all hit them comments, light the comments up. Let Mr. Hill know that y'all are appreciating him coming on this platform to drop nuggets and his thoughts on the auxiliary world. Y'all know we always get to hear the band directors talk about band. And we're going to talk about a little bit of that tonight. We don't get to hear them so much talk about the auxiliary. Those always happen behind closed doors, at least in my experience.
I'm ready to ask questions. I need answers.
Look, we're about to get into some things tonight. Hold on just a second. He should be popping back up and we're going to move. There we go. He just came back in. All right, here we go. We're going to reintroduce him again. He deserves a great introduction. Y'all light us up in the comments again. Welcome back, this time with sound, Mr. Dean Hill.
Hey, look out, guys. Look, I'm so proud of you too. Can you hear me now?
Yes, we hear you fine. Loud and clear.
Oh, great. Super podcast, guys. Thanks so very much.
Thank you so much. Look, Mr. Hill, look, we got so much of tonight to spend with you, but we definitely want to go ahead and get your background. So anything in your background you want to share, just give us a little bit of who Mr. Hill is, coming from your education all the way to your years of service.
Oh, man. Country boy from Paris, Texas. That is. Northeast of Dallas here. Started out marching in high school there. I was marched in both the all-black school. We first started with my college director, Dr. V. Van Bolden, that I later on joined and went to college with at Bishop. But I marched at Paris High School, was under the tutelage of Mr. Floyd Uyghur, who was an outstanding educator as well. And that got me going. And then I went to Bishop, where I studied music under V. Van Bolden, and was a classmate of one of your guests tonight. That is Douglas Baskins. We went to school together, and Doug was a great mentor for me. You know, I was in first job out was as an elementary band director. We started a program at John Neely Bryan, William Brown Miller. That group was called the Children of Production, where we had elementary jazz band that was just second to none, and left from there and went to O.W. Holmes and started that program, which was called the Boss Band. And we had an outstanding jazz program there. And then I was recruited from O.W. Holmes by Dr. Orly Watts to come and start a program at Townview Center. And of course, that program originally was supposed to have been, the job was first sold to me about, you're going to come in and do small ensembles. You're going to have a jazz band program, and that will, be the gist of it. But however, when the community got word that I was going to Townview, hey, the school was flooded with lots of students that want to be in the band program. And of course, starting out with 35, that grew to over 175. So we had to start a marching program. And when we first got going with the marching program, of course, we didn't even have, uniforms or anything. We had to start from scratch. And we had to, build an outstanding band booster organization, which came in. And of course, when those parents came in and wanted to be a part, they wanted to see their babies out there marching and being able to take part in the battle of bands. And, I had, I looked at Doug and what he had done there, Doug and Earl over at Carter. And of course, that was we were patterning our program somewhat after what those guys were doing because they were highly successful, and we wanted to come in and do the same type of job.
Look, I remember having to buy my uniform at Townview.
Yes.
I was in that class that said, look, we get some real uniforms. So we're going to have to come up with, I think it was $375 back then. $375 ain't much now. That's like little, $5. But back then, $375, let me tell you, I went and got me a job real fast. I remember that because, look, I came into Townview, we was in wind suits.
Yes,
we was in the wind suits.
Yeah.
But look, we was winning in the wind suits and all. Okay. The uniform was just it was what it was. He, Mr. Hill had already destined us for greatness. And walking into that program, look, I had even stopped playing my 8th grade year. And I remember coming into Townview. When I didn't know Townview had a band. I didn't know nothing. I walked in blind. I just knew I was going to Townview, and got to Townview and heard there was a marching band. And some from my friends who played in middle school with me was like, "Hey, did you check out the band?" I was like, "They ain't got no band." And he was like, "Yeah, they do." I was like, "They ain't got no football team. How they gonna have a band?" But I made my way to the band hall and talked to Mr. Hill one day. I just went down there to see. I was coming for concert band and jazz. That's what I said I wanted to play. I loved concert band. And found myself at 8:00 in the morning on that field with the marching band. Mm-hmm. And how did he talk me into this? I was coming to learn, okay? But look, we made it there. Quay, you got any questions for Mr. Hill?
Yes. I just want to know what made you fall in love with teaching students in band. Your love for music. I just want to know, like, where did it come from?
That's a good question. Starting out, I started out as an elementary band teacher. I was in the Roosevelt cluster under Thomas Ross Jr. And Mr. Ross himself, he was a percussionist as well. So we could identify with a number of the things that, we had to deal with coming into the band program. And I, patterned myself after him. And, and getting started, with a marching band program, you've got to have patience. But one of the things I found out early was, you've got to establish a hierarchy of students that want and fall in love with what you're doing and buy into the program. And, doing things that the students love to do. They're working through things that are very hard, but they don't know it. They're just doing it because, they see the love that you exhibit and what you do and the passion that you show them. You show up every day on time and you care about them, and then they care about you. And the other part of it is, parents fall in love with, what you're doing by taking the time to work with their, hard-headed children. But, one of the things that you find is students really love to just learn, and you just want to give them the opportunity to do that. And you see that you have some tremendous students. And I've always had, some of the best the city has offered, coming out of OW Homes and their Townview. It's just a mecca for some outstanding talent.
Mr. Hill, and not trying to be biased or anything, but coming from your direction and tutelage, I was able to be a part of a lot of things, and not to even, be able to work in conjunction with the staff there. And so seeing the band from when I started back in the fall of 2000 to graduating in the spring of 2004, to coming back and working in conjunction with the staff, volunteering a few years, but full time for the most part, with 2014, somewhere in that era, and seeing the transition the band made from being your typical show style band to going against the grain, to completely just adding the pit, to adding color, to adding all these different effects. We had streamers and rifles at one point. I mean, just doing more of that DCI, UIL-ish style in the show band format. What made you decide to do that? I know a little bit, but I don't know much.
Yeah. Well, as a drummer, as a band director, you kind of think, you would think a little bit out of the box. And I was I love drum corps. And, I came from an HBCU. We did some of it, but it was sort of like there was just so much more that auxiliary brought to the whole table. It's sort of like one of the things is, Brandon, being there at Townview, you would have the auxiliary as a part of the band, and they'd be on the field for maybe 3.5 minutes. And you're looking at these other shows and what these guys are putting out, and it's like, oh my God. You look at all of this other color and everything that's being exhibited, and what it does to help bring more attention to whatever thematic stuff that you're trying to present on the field. It's like, oh my God, well, this auxiliary can even enhance, make it more presentable and make it more dynamic. And of course, being a jazzer, we wanted to also be able to put the pit in there. We started marching bass, guitar players, and everything. And we started also utilizing the pit, but we were still doing the HBCU. And it was like, oh my God, because we had all of that talent. And it was like, well, we don't want them to be sitting at home. We want them on the field as well. And they found that joy. We were doing shows, Motown Review. So we did everything. We even had them singing. It's like, how you put all this together? And of course, we were getting ideas from other people and stuff. I looked at groups like California Riverside. Some of these people were like, oh my goodness, what is this? And, with the types of things that they were doing, Western Carolina and stuff like that. In addition to, of course, your PWIs and others, but we thought we could do, even more. And that's, I had a excellent team. Jerry Walker, Evelyn Forte Jones, Carlisa Washington. Hey man, we just had a dynamic team of people that was like, whatever we came up with ideas, they were like, hey, let's do it. And the kids were in love with it, so why not?
It's shout out to Mr. Ford too. I ain't gonna never forget Mr. Ford. Shout out to Mr. Ford.
You got it. There is a dynamic musician. Help us put the first program together there at Townview. Definitely, Mr. Ford.
When I think back then, just thinking about it, when we first started seeing some of those transitions happen and some of the things that you were bringing, we was like, what's going on here? What is Mr. Hill trying to do? Now, it wasn't that we didn't trust you. We just didn't understand it because, we were hood kids that only understood the show style band that had brains enough to go to Townview. So we was the hood kids with some brains that made it to Townview. We understood marching. We understood show style. Then he started adding these elements and we was like, okay, now where we going with this? Okay, we're gonna make it work. I remember my senior year, and I didn't march my senior year. I chose to, just have a regular senior year. There was a lot going on with, internal things we had to do at Townview. I did march in 3 performances specifically, but I assisted when I could. And I remember being on the sidelines at the Dallas Battle of the Bands my senior year, and y'all put that car with the spinners and the butterflies coming out the tank. Look, when I say we y'all pulled out every stop, I said, now how? And it was my senior year.
Yeah.
That lost the first Battle of the Bands after we were on that winning streak because neither here or there. But we lost it. But we knew we won that Battle of the Bands. Like that show was immaculate from the top to the bottom. I mean, the creativity, the thought process, it was unheard of. What's up, Coop? So it was unheard of, and we just had to do the things. But Mr. Hill, I appreciate you and I thank you for your out of the box thinking. You and the other staff, Ms. Washington and Mrs. Forte and Mr. Walker. I thank y'all for all of the creativity and the push. Even though we didn't always accept it and receive it well, we know that at the end of the day, it paid off. And I would always like to thank you on behalf of all of the alumni and our past and present. And we appreciate you. We appreciate you very dearly.
Hey,
Wait,
man.
Mr. Hill.
No.
Yeah.
Any final words?
Oh, look, Brandon.
Oh.
You guys, I'm so proud of both of you. Keep up the great work. As always, keep hope alive. You guys are doing an outstanding job. If you need me, hey, just give us a holler. Don't be afraid to holler, boy.
We not. Look, Mr. Hill's going to be coming back and joining us on our panel interview. We're about to set with our next interview. But before we move, I'm going to show this clip because, look, we can't have band people on and not give them a little bit of band. Now, it's just impossible. So before we bring our next panelist up, we're going to give a little flashback to a good old year here. And I think now this is now for my older alumni that's in the group, because I understand y'all heard. We ain't going back that far. The video just saying we ain't going back that far. All right, but this is one of Mr. Hill's latter years in the marching band and the development of what Townview would become.
God weenie.
So we're gonna move this here. I'm gonna move us to the side there. All right, there we go. All right, here we go. We're gonna give you guys a little bit of band, a little bit of nostalgia, so you can understand, for those who are not familiar with the Townview aesthetics.
Today's show is dedicated to all the women in the house. In the words of Tupac and Scale, came from a woman, and we got our name from a woman. It's time that we honor our women. So, ladies, this show is for you. Keep your head up.
You better work out, hype.
Yeah.
Now, I know while the band is taking the field, I was able to be a part of this year and help and assist with the auxiliary and with band and with drum majors. And it's lovely to be able to be utilized and for your talents to be able to flourish in place.
Okay, color guard.
Baby, did you see the color guard? Did we not have more points?
That was cute.
Baby, on all of it. That's what I'm talking about. You got to hit all the notes. Look at that. The transitions.
And neat.
Of course. You see me right there running, picking up them flags. Now my hair was much shorter than you. Much shorter than you.
Yeah, hurry up, Brandon.
Look.
Look, I want to dance right now.
Look. The dance, stay ready. This next little transition, look, I don't even know what made me think about doing this. I had an idea, and they allowed me to put it to work, and the product came out on the field.
Pretty women wonder where my secret lies. I'm not cute or built to suit a fashion model style. But when
So is that one pole?
It's two flags on a traditional flag pole. So it's like a double flag effect to create a more visual.
It's like a butterfly.
Right.
Phenomenal woman. That's me. I walk into
Come on, Alicia.
as cool as she please, and to a man, the fellas all stand or fall on their knees.
This show was dedicated to women, and so they were doing the phenomenal woman poem and had representation of some of our powerful women.
Okay, ladies. Y'all better break the necks.
Look. Thank you. It was choreographed by yours phenomenally. Anna! All the TNC people coming out. Anna was on that field.
Okay, Drumline, come on.
Yeah. I remember when they started making the band, we still started making the band do stuff while the drum round was playing and not do our traditional kneel or step down or pause.
Okay, take it off. Take the checks off then. Y'all could have fooled me. Look at you.
Look,
okay. Come on. Okay.
This is when that Beyonce album had just came out.
Yeah.
I think.
Had to be.
Mm-hmm. It had just dropped. I think that's something. Now, y'all know we had Dr. Evelyn Forte Jones on last week.
Right.
So we talked about class and SAS. We didn't show any clips from last year, but this will give you some of what the work that we did with her line.
Okay, circle.
You know it had to come, baby. She's a box.
Aww.
Yeah, I think your line was you before Anna. She said if we do nothing else, we were gonna do have a you know you had to have it. All right, y'all. Look, we're gonna get this little piece and we're gonna move on into the next part. All right. We'll give you just a taste of this part.
How does it feel to watch like what you produced? Like now you're watching this, it's been so long. How does it feel to watch this? Like, oh my gosh, I remember this. Can't hear you.
We can't hear you, Mr. Hill. No, we can't hear you. I think your sound went out again.
The band will now get in the mix with Erica Badu's Tyrone in Danger.
Oh, I remember this.
Hey. Y'all better groove.
I remember this routine. This was different too, because people don't do block band to a neo soul artist.
Okay, I know this song. Hi, Beyonce.
All right, y'all. We're gonna get ready to go to our next guest. We're gonna get y'all the highlight of the show. We're gonna get y'all the highlight. All right. Don't be mad at me. We're gonna move on. Okay. So we have our next panel ready. Mr. Hill will be back with us at the panel interview. He went back to get his sound back on. We have our next person ready. Look, first off, let's talk about history in the making. History in the making. Look at this. When we talk about history, look at the photo. Let's just look at the photo first. Let's just get it in. Look, we're about to bring up our next guest, Mr. Xavier Gunter. And let me tell y'all, Mr. Gunter is legendary in a lot of ways. And I'm excited to bring him up because not only have I been able to meet him and have conversations with him and have band banter, but we've been able to talk about, his passion with auxiliary, his passion with music. I have been, given so many accolades about the man he has been in the band community. And I think sometimes just because you're not the head band director, people think you may not have the biggest contribution, but we know that's not the truth. Okay. Mr. Gunter is living evidence of that. And last week, one of y'all spoke him up. Okay. One of y'all spoke him up and said, didn't Stock have a male feature twirler that was the first one? And I said, look, y'all stop getting in our brain. Okay. Let us be great. So with that being said, y'all, we're going to welcome Mr. Xavier Gunter to the panel. Mr. Gunter, welcome, welcome, welcome.
Can you hear me?
We hear you loud and clear.
Okay, because I keep logging off for some reason. I'm not sure, but I try to keep logging back in if it happens again.
We're going to get to it.
Okay.
Mr. Gunter, look, we are so excited to have you here. They spoke you up last week. Now, we had already talked and had you on the books, but they spoke you in the comments last week, and they said, Mr. Gunter, Xavier, his name is Xavier, he's phenomenal. That look, the twirl community came out and called your name, and I said, look, y'all get out our brains. So, look, give us some of your background. From how you got into band, into twirling, into music, and then, walk us up into, some of the works you've done here in the community.
Okay, well, let me start off by saying thank you for inviting me to the panel. It's been a long time since I've had to talk about my past, but I started my clarinet playing in 1971 at R.L. Thornton in Singing Hills. Mm-hmm. And from there, I was bused to Hulsey Middle School. At the time, it was Hulsey Junior High. And I played clarinet under Don Daniels at Hulsey. And then when I found out that we was getting ready to go to high school, I was expecting to go to Carter because they was busing us from Singing Hills to Carter at the time. Well, my last year, my ninth grade year at Hulsey, we got a letter in the mail saying that we was going to have to, if you lived in Singing Hills, you were going to have to report to South Oak Cliff. And I said, South Oak Cliff, and I'm like, that was a big, big change. So I got to South Oak Cliff my first 3 years.
Okay, so y'all, he's been having an issue staying logged in. I don't know if that's a on his side or on our side. But y'all be patient. He gonna pop right back up. I promise y'all. We gonna get through this interview because he got some things to say. He got some things to say. Look, they giving him his praise right now. King of Twirl. Look, the Hosey Hawks back in the day. Look, there you go. I think he's back. Let me add him right back on. He's coming right back to us. I told y'all he gonna be right back. Look,
we back.
Okay, I'm back. I think I keep going off again. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, and yeah, so went from Hussey Junior High to South Oak Cliff under Mr. James Wilson, and I didn't twirl until my junior year. For some reason, the majorettes wanted me to twirl because they heard I could twirl, and they asked me to become featured twirler, which I did. And I went on to my senior year. I went on to my senior year to twirl for South Oak Cliff High School, and it was real good. It was a great year. It was a great South Oak Cliff was really a great school. I didn't expect to have so much success at South Oak Cliff like I did, but it was really, really a nice, great place to be. I should have been there. I'm sorry, Carter, that I didn't show up, but I should have been. I was where I should have been.
How did you get into twirling?
Yeah, I want to know.
Well, there was a twirler at Roosevelt back in the day named Thurman Morgan. And I was real good friends with Thurman. Thurman was the featured twirler for Roosevelt in 77. Probably, maybe, 77 was his senior year. He taught me how to twirl. And when the majorettes at South Oak Cliff found out that I could twirl, because I was actually going to try for drum major going into my senior year. And they asked me to try out, and I did. I went on the stage and twirled. And the lady who was over the twirlers at the time, she said, "Okay, yeah, we can use you." And it was history after that. I went from that, took a little.
Oh my goodness. They won't let this man be great. We can't hear each other. I can't hear you.
I'm sorry, I was muted, y'all. Every time he gets right there to the cusp of giving us a nugget, this system wants to add. Look, I'm gonna see what I can do on the back end, y'all. I'm gonna work on some technology issues. But he's back. Look, he quick with the comeback. He's quick with the comeback. Look, he's quick with the comeback. Look, he up. We gonna have him up and ready.
I don't know what's going on, but it was great. Yeah, Thurman Morgan taught me. He came out in 77 from Roosevelt, and I tried out, made it, and that was history.
So, what did you go to college at?
I went to school late. I ended up at Texas Southern, where I studied clarinet under Benjamin Butler at the time. But I started. I didn't get there until 91. I was an older student. I think I was 31 when I got to Texas Southern.
So.
And Ben Butler was my clarinet instructor. He encouraged me.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, y'all heard where he went though.
Girl, look, honey's Texas Southern, girl. y'all know Quay. She is by her Texas Southern, baby. I mean, but the question is, do you still got the motion though?
I do. I always never lose the motion. Don't even play with me. Okay.
Okay, let me get him back on screen real fast. Here we go.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you. I'm working on some technology fixes on the back period. So you keep going. We're gonna figure this out for you.
Okay. And what did I leave off at? I forgot.
That you was at Texas Southern.
Oh yeah, I studied clarinet at the Ben Butler at Texas Southern, which I still talk to today. I talk to him every once in a while. I give him a call and check on him. But I think he did a lot of encouragement for me to continue to teach band. And I really didn't think that I was going to be that successful. I don't even know how I even made it to this panel. But at the same time,
you don't know. Look, I'm working in the background. I'm trying to get it. I'm working with tech issues now to see what we can do.
I wonder why I keep doing it though.
I don't know. And this is weird. I've never seen it do this before, so I'm assuming it's the platform that we're using and not him, because it shouldn't be kicking nobody out like that. Now, of all days, they want to act up. Y'all, thank y'all for being patient and graceful with us. We're gonna get through this. We're getting through this.
Okay. I'm sorry.
You're
And
fine.
but Ben Butler, I think, had a lot to do with me making my decision as far as teaching band. Actually, if I had graduated when I graduated in '79 from high school, I actually tried out for feature twirl at Texas Southern, made it, but I never made it to Texas Southern at the time. But I should have. With Connell McDonald and all those people that twirled at the time at TSU, I should have been there.
I wonder what would have happened if we always kind of think about it, but I wonder what would have happened, like the culture with the twirlers there would have been like had you come.
I often think about that because there was two other twirlers at Texas Southern at the time, and I was going to come in, and I was going to probably be one of the twirler number 3. But I don't know. It would have been probably great. I just didn't ever make it. I started going to El Centro, and I think I took jazz and ballet for years after that, and never even thought about twirling again or band.
Oh.
Now, y'all heard this man is not only a trained musician. Okay. This man trained in jazz, ballet, and he was a professional twirler. Okay. I just want the people to understand, because Mr. Gunter, I think, and I'm so glad that you were willing to come up, because I think sometimes people get this stigma that men can't be in the auxiliary range. When we know back in the 70s and 80s, we saw it across many platforms of many band platforms. So I love the fact that you are proud of that part of your legacy, but that you've also shared that legacy with us in the Dallas communities and in other communities as well. I can't get this man his flowers. Look. He
coming back.
Look, I got a troubleshooting. I'm going to work on him. I got some stuff I'm going to send him once we get past this part so that he could try to see if that'll clear the issue that's happening. I think it's but it's okay, y'all. Look, he's going to pop right back up. Look, he back already. See, I told you, he quick with that finger, though. That finger action is quick. We pulled him back on stage. Hold on. There you go. All right. So he's back. And I'm gonna send him some troubleshooting tips when he gets off the screen. So,
and you were saying,
I'm waiting for him to pop up.
Yeah,
it should be popping up. But what I was saying was, I'm just glad he shared that, because the men in auxiliary gets a stigma. We see, in DCI, UIL, in the core style and corp styles bands and the military style bands, that you have the men that will be in all of those platforms, but when it comes to our show style band, sometimes I feel like they're left out. Not necessarily they have to be out there dancing or doing a feature or anything, but twirling and the color guard aspect, they definitely can do that. Even when you think of some of the collegiate bands like the Spartan Guards, they are there. They not only protect the band, but they also do color guard on the field. So they serve a dual purpose in that particular band program. All right. So while he's getting there, I know he taught at a couple of places. Look, let's read some of the comments that came from for Mr. Gunter. Sherry Slaughter said, look, that's my Uncle Xavier. She called him the king of twirl.
Oh,
look, you got people that came in that said the Hosey Hawks back in the day. Lance Williams said Prof G was my director at Skyline and was a mentor as a band director. Wealth of knowledge. Welcome to the platform, Lance. Carlton Coop is in the building, said Prof G, a wealth of band wisdom and knowledge. Look, this man can school you, and I love the way that he gives the stories that he gives. When I've had the pleasure of speaking with him, look, he can tell a story as if it was happening right in front of him, and he colors it with detail so well that you can almost envision every single moment as if you were there. And I love the way that he's able to bring a story to life like that. Look, she said she remember Mr. Thurman. They won't look, I know. We're going to work on it. I'm going to send him some troubleshooting tips when we get off here to see if we can fix this issue. But what I was saying to you was, look, I love the fact that you share that part of us with you, that you're vulnerable enough to share that you did twirl, that you did take jazz and ballet and all of those things. We don't see that a lot from when it comes to men, especially when you're dealing with show band style. But we love the fact that you do have that knowledge from the auxiliary side as well as from the band side, which makes you a threat in a community because you understand the band. You truly understand band from front to back.
Yes.
And you don't get that a lot. So you look, we appreciate you here. We appreciate him here. Look, why he's coming back. Look, we're not gonna give him a lot of issue. I know he's trying his best. We're gonna go ahead and share. I got a Samuel video, a vintage Samuel video. Thank you, Coop. Well, I don't even think this one came from Coop, but I know he posts quite a bit. But this one is actually from the official Samuel High School Band site. So while Mr. Gunter is coming on, Quay, did you have any questions for him before we go any further? He's coming.
Yes. When he comes back.
Oh, he don't hear you yet. He don't hear you yet.
Anything?
Okay.
There you go.
Yes. So I want to know, like, what do you look for in auxiliary when you're overseeing the band? What are you looking for in your auxiliary as far as twirlers, dancers, color guard? What are you looking for?
Well, I think in my auxiliary line, I'm looking for consistency. I'm looking for inclusion, people that can be included in auxiliaries. We have a FAMU with the male flag line. I would love to have a male flag line at a high school. I never had that. I think that, it brings something to the table when you do stuff, when you think out of the.
Every time he gets right to a nugget, I'm telling y'all, he was going to drop a gem.
I wonder if he could turn off his Wi-Fi or something.
He said he was off of it. I'm gonna send him some stuff. I got some stuff pulled up. I'm just waiting to send it to him. Okay, he's back. Let's see. Let me get him there.
Okay. Yes.
You said you think it would bring something to the table.
Well, yeah, I think when you do stuff differently from other schools, people notice that. Your fans notice that you're doing something different. And, I'd rather have my flags dressed in band uniforms.
Okay. I can
I just rather have a flag line, whether if it's a unisex flag line, I would much rather have all of them in band uniforms. Yes. And that way it makes the band looks fuller.
Okay. I can see that.
Yeah. That's what I think. Right.
Okay.
Because I think George Edwards had the correct concept when he was at Prairie View when he had the unisex flag line.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Prairie View had males on the flags at one point?
Yeah, on the George Edwards, yes.
I didn't know that. You just taught me something I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still dumb now. I thought I knew the history.
Oh no. The girl flag line came after he left under the new director.
Okay. Gotcha. Okay, I know he's trying. Look, what we're gonna do to help him out, we're gonna start showing this video. When he pops in, he can give us some of his feedback while we're gonna reminisce down the street on a little bit of this Samuel, WW Samuel High School nostalgia. Okay, we know he assisted there. I think this is the year that he was still assisting at Samuel. I could be wrong, but I think I have the right year. So as you talk, you can continue talking. We're just going to put some video here on the side so they can see some of the great works that you have helped to be a part of and produce.
Okay.
And he said, and you were saying that they had the girl flag leaders had came out. That's where you had stopped at.
Well, I know that George Edwards, being a FAMU grad, he had a unisex flag line when he was band director at Prairie View. Yeah, and they kind of wore band uniforms kind of on that level. They kind of wore those.
Okay, look at the legs. Still.
Look, this was, I believe, at Forest Field.
It looked like
and of course, I worked under the great Carlton Cooper. I must mention his name. If it had been for him, I don't know where I would have done. He was very instrumental.
We'll be right back, y'all. Look, Sharon said, when I was at PV, hey, Miss Sharon. Look, she said, she was at PV in 1987. We had male flags. Look, Sharon, I didn't know that. I'm learning something tonight. School your boy. See, that's why I love this. We still learn the nuggets we don't know.
Okay. Because I didn't know that either.
All right, so
I would have never thought.
I did not know. Now I want to know why they won't bring them back.
Right.
All right, this is a little bit of WW Samuel High School, the Spartan band. Spartan, I believe, that's what they are.
Here it go.
See. There we go. Hey, Charlie, the show. She said, what year is this? This was, I believe, 2010, maybe not. I want to say it's 2010. This was under Carlton. Hold on. Not me having network issues. Gotcha, Lance. Thank you for letting me know. Look, Lance said he was assistant then. This wasn't the year he Mr. Gunter was assistant, but it still shows some of the work that he dealt with and helping to produce in his time. Representation. Lance said he know his shows.
Okay. He said, let me let you know right now. I understand.
Oh, Mr. Gunter is back. Let me put him back up. There we go. All right, welcome back, Mr. Gunter. Not again. Okay, it's got to be some on his side because this not helping nobody else. It's okay. I'm gonna send him some stuff. I'm going to send it to him so that he can hopefully get some help him a little bit.
Okay, dancers. Looney J sets.
Yeah, you have to say they definitely gave J set vibes. Mm-hmm.
The uniform and everything.
Mm-hmm. They had a really good dance instructor back then. Was a male.
Okay, come on, Phil. Then I didn't even see them. Y'all better rise. Oh, look at them.
He said Prop G was coming through giving woodwind clinics during this time. Look, come on.
Y'all better know the style.
High school. He said if it wasn't for Prof Gunter, I wouldn't have transitioned to Samuel. Okay, cool. Look, keep dropping the information. So see, Prof Gunter had a lot to do in the backwards. Oh, that was cute.
Okay, ladies.
Look.
Excited me.
Now, Samuel did have twirlers and they did have flags at some point. But I think during this time, Coop didn't have any color guard, at least not for the show. And I don't believe there was any twirlers for this particular show that I could find. So that was pretty much the auxiliary part.
Can I say something before I get?
Go ahead.
I worked under some great directors, Latoya Ellis at Sunset, Billy Pruitt at Wilma Hutchins,
Mr.
Carlton
Pruitt.
Cooper at Samuel. You know, I worked under really some great directors that taught me a lot.
Look, it's all about learning. We all here to learn and grow together. And I'm glad because you still have helped others. And you have still helped some people. Like who said a while ago, if it wasn't for you, he wouldn't have transitioned to Samuel. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
And like Lance was saying, you know, you still was doing woodwork clinics during that time frame at Samuel. Okay, I'm gonna send him this to him behind the scenes, but so he can try to see if this will help his issue.
Please.
But we see some of the greater what's going on. Look, we're just about to get ready to pull up our third interview.
Okay, it makes so much sense.
Session. We ready. Said the Dazzling Dolls were trained by Kai Washington. That's his name. Jay said that's right, and Bronche Williams. That's right. You did have Jay says. I know. I never say. I know it was a
baby. The style was there.
Guy. Baby, look, they was hitting it, giving that early Jay said vibes.
Yeah.
Coop had a line. Coop had a line. Look, he had a line at Samuel, but look, he had a line at Hutch too.
Okay.
All right, we're going to get ready to transition. Mr. Gunter, I'm gonna send some stuff to you. I'm gonna send you some stuff through your phone so that you can see if it will help fix the issue that you're having. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
For that panel interview. So hopefully while we're doing that, this will give you a chance to fix it, see if that'll help your issue.
Oh, listen.
All right.
All right. Yes. You're welcome. Thank you. All right. So we're going to take him down and get ready for our next interview. We got our next interview coming on. Look, that just give you a little taste of the show so that you can just understand some of the components of the great works that these people have helped to contribute to. Bronche did die. I do remember hearing that information. So yes, definitely rest in peace. Look, they are getting their flowers over here in the comments. I love the comments going up for our greats.
That's cute.
Now, yes, that was the Dazzling Dolls. Now look here. This next one, y'all. You're gonna hear his name a couple of times. Some of y'all think y'all missed him, but y'all ain't miss him. He's here. We are about to bring up our third and final interview. Y'all, look, let's take a look back down memory lane. Look, we are about to bring up one of the legendaries, one of the greats. He's the one that takes care and leads the instructors band when the instructor band comes and plays. Look, this man is qualified to lead the greats of the greats. Okay. We are so excited to have and that he was willing to come up and work with us, Mr. None other, coming from the Cowboy Nation, that's where most people would know him best from. We're bringing up Mr. Douglas Baskins. Hey, Mr. Baskins.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey.
Going pretty good. Welcome to the show, and thank you for being here tonight.
Glad to be here.
Look, we're going to go ahead and get into your background. So bring us from how you got into music or into the things that you have done in as far as when it comes to performing arts, and take us into kind of like your college years and even to your years that you served in our communities.
Okay, well, I'm originally from Memphis, Tennessee.
Oh, Lord.
What's wrong?
Nothing at all.
We'll tell you behind the scenes. We'll tell you behind the scenes.
Oh, okay. But anyway, I graduated from Booker T. Washington High School in Memphis, Tennessee. And when I was in the band, we didn't march every week. It was a shock to me to find out. I came to Texas to find out the bands performed every week. Like if Carter played Kimball, Carter would do the halftime this year. Kimball would do the halftime next year. That's where we were raised. And I came here and found out, so man, I don't know if I want to be a band director. Yeah, so that was a shock. We didn't have flag corps. I had never seen a flag corps. I never even heard of a flag corps until I came to Texas. But we had majorettes. Yeah, we had majorettes and things like that. But anyway, like Dean said, Dean and I were in band together at Bishop College.
Good old
So I
Bishop.
went to the good old Bishop Blue. Went to Bishop and decided I wanted to be a band director and started watching bands and talking to band directors and things like that. And that was it. My junior high school band director, Mr. Paul Meacham, was the one who influenced me to become a band director. My first year. See, in Memphis, we didn't have an elementary band. You started in the 7th grade, but I didn't get in the band until my 9th grade year. And he was quite an influence on me.
Okay.
What is it that made him influence you though? Like, what was it?
Well, one thing he taught us every day. There was no such thing as are we going to play today? He said, don't even think that. And he taught us. We had playing exams, we had written exams, we had oral exams, and everything you asked him, he knew. He would stand on that podium. He'd tell saxophones, you play this note, tubas, you play this note, trumpets, you play this note, clarinets, you play this note, so and so. I'm thinking, now, how does a one man know so much? And that baffled me. And I said, okay, that's what I want to do. And I started studying. That's what I started studying, but just by listening to him.
You want to be the boss man.
Yeah.
So I want to know, like, what is your style of leadership? Like, how did you run your programs, and what made it go so fluid? What did you do to, keep it going?
Well, at Carter, there were two of us, me and Errol Sims, and we didn't use the term assistant band director. That's the first thing, and he had just as much responsibility as I did.
So,
as a matter of fact, he was the one that actually started the show style band. He was a graduate of Southern University, and when he came here, and then we got together and he started doing shows. I would do a show and he would do a show. Sometimes we'd do a show together, and we actually had two different styles. And so once I liked his style better, so I gave it over to him, and that was it.
Okay.
Now, my brother marched underneath your reign in the late 90s and ended up going on to Southern University to play for Southern University for 2 years. And back in the 90s, mid to late 90s, Carter was unstoppable in the Dallas area and in some of the areas in our tri-state area. I mean, y'all would travel and y'all were kicking butt left, right, north, south, east, and west. I mean, the Carter Cowboys, Dallas Carter, as a lot of people refer to y'all, was on a butt kicking tour. And I remember seeing him in the band. And when I say y'all had one of the nastiest, meanest bands together, like, I mean, when I saw my brother transition from Carter to going into Southern University, it was just like they made what y'all did just that much tighter. Like, it was so on point, so on trend, so on target with what y'all had been learning already at Carter University. I mean, at Carter, I should say Carter University, but high school, because I mean, y'all was marching. I mean, them high knees, that sway in the march. I mean, Carter was kicking butt, and I mean, and it was nothing wrong with it. We enjoyed everything that Carter was doing. So, I mean, how did y'all get your program to that point? I mean, from not just the band, but even to your auxiliary. I mean, the auxiliary had its own thing. Shell, I gotta call a thing a thing. We love the night train, but we gotta call a thing a thing. Carter was doing a thing. How did y'all come up with the greatness that became what Carter would be known as to get it to that part of to get that program to that point?
Well, one thing, we wanted to set a standard and wanted to do something that was different, and what we were doing was different than the other bands around in our area. Okay. And everybody was important. Flags, majorettes, everybody was important, played an important part in the band. and we just set a standard and kept it at that.
So, what do you say your greatest professional strength is as a band director?
Leadership.
Why?
Well, I allow people to express their ideas. I had three how can I say it? I led in three different ways. One, I would listen to your idea and use it. Two, I would listen to your idea and I might not use it. And three, I just and three is we just do it the way I say it.
Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. We all have our visions, so I understand because I'm the same way. If I like it, I use it. If I don't, all right, maybe next time. But I want the show ran.
Yeah, but one thing about it now, if I allowed you to do something with the band and it went over successfully, then I gave you credit for it. They said that was a good show. I said, oh, yeah, but Mr. Sims did that halftime show.
I love that.
Or so-and-so did the majorettes, and so-and-so did the flags. And I have ex-students who came back and were running things. So they knew my method. They knew what I accepted, what I wouldn't accept. So flag corps sponsor was a former band member. Percussion instructor was a former band member. Majorette instructor was a former majorette. So it was just that Carter system.
Okay.
I love the way that you said that you allowed everybody to have their shine and that you listened and that you were open to that. I know sometimes in the band world, we know that, of course, the band directors have the last say and we respect them for that. But sometimes when there is a creative aspect coming and the show is trying to come together and we're trying to put the right components in the show, you know, you may or may not have a band director that's willing to be open to hearing what you say. And it's not, you know, that's their right. But the fact that you allowed all of your players to be a key player within your program so that the best product for your band would come out really speaks highly of your leadership skills and how you directed your band program, which also reflected on the field as why to your program for many years, Carter was almost untouchable. I mean, y'all was on a winning tour for a long time. I mean, when I heard that Carter had lost a battle to band, I was like, wait a minute, huh? Almost impossible.
I did the same thing. I said, Carter didn't win the Battle of the Bands. Wow.
Like y'all were, tough. The people in the comments going, y'all were tough competition, and y'all literally had a program that has been so rich in history and tradition, and the foundations of what y'all did then still reign true to now. I know there was a picture I used that we used in our promo video that had 3 of the 4 Carter band directors on the picture. And when I saw that, I was like, just seeing that history pulled together and seeing the torch, how the torch has passed from one to another, but y'all are still able to have that camaraderie, and y'all all gave y'all's best to what you could give to Carter and continue to build that tradition just means so much. Mr. Baskins, so when you got to Bishop, I mean, Mr. Hill spoke on you briefly in his interview, but at Bishop, I mean, what did your experience at Bishop do for you with those? Because I know a lot of people don't understand what Bishop College is today because it no longer exists, but Bishop College was cranking out some really tough musicians and some really good teachers and directors back in the day. So what was college for you?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up.
Oh, I'm sorry. I said, what was Bishop College for you, your experience at Bishop College?
Oh, man. Well, when I first got my freshman year, we marched military style, 6-5. And I wasn't accustomed to that. Matter of fact, I never even heard of it. And we talked to the band director, and we convinced him, a lot of people from Memphis, a lot of guys from Alabama, and we convinced him to, hey, let's try show style. And our sophomore year, we switched over, and we had car washes and everything, raised money to get uniforms and everything, and that's when we switched over. My sophomore year.
So switching over, like, what did that do for you?
Oh, it made me want to become a band director more.
Look, that's so amazing. Look, we're gonna continue the conversation. Quay, you got another question? I'm gonna put up this video side by side as we continue to talk to the Douglas Baskins of Carter High School. Look, I just texted my brother, was like, "Hey, your band director's on my podcast."
Yeah.
You got to come on. He texted me back. He said, "My man."
Yeah, what motivated you to continue to be a band director?
Just the love of music and the love of seeing students progress, seeing students develop a love for music the way that I had. And I didn't want to be a one-dimensional band director, just marching band. We had good concert bands. We had very good jazz bands. And anything we did, we wanted to be the best.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of jazz, your jazz skills, and I love that, I know Mr. Hill's passion for jazz is very rich and being on his tutelage, but also being able to work alongside of you for the couple of years I was blessed to do that, and seeing your take on jazz. I mean, not just at the high school level, but seeing what you could do also at the middle school level. And you and Mr. Hill both did it, because I forgot to mention this doing his, but y'all both had a strong take on jazz and created and pumped out a lot of lovers of jazz, including myself. That a lot of kids fall for the marching band and for the action and the dancing and all that, but having true instrumentalists, having true people that just have that passion for jazz and having that passion for music and understanding their instrument and what it can do, that's really hard to teach. And I've seen you do it on a middle school level and have middle school kids so ready to be pumped out. I know Mr. Hill did it at middle school. I didn't get to see it, but I saw you do yours. And that's hard. That's not easy to do. How are you able to instill your love and your drive of music, even at people in a very young age?
Well, one thing, I try to lead by example. And kids, if your example is good, people will follow you. And if I don't know, if they see something that they want, or they see something that you present and you present it well, eventually they'll come around to it. And that's what we did at Zan Holmes. We had the first jazz band ever at Zan Holmes. And the kids, we didn't have a class. The kids would come before school or stay after school or during lunch. That's when we would practice.
I remember they was trying to get to that band hall. They would come, Mr. Banks. Look, I can't tell a band kid no. I just can't. Look, go on down there. We'll figure this out. Come to tutoring this afternoon. We'll get you taken care of. I didn't tell a band kid no, because I understood the drive. I was there one day and I definitely understood the drive. And I would never kill somebody's love of something. Because even some of our behavior kids, your class was the class they resided in. It kept them out of trouble. It made them do less because they wanted to get on stage. They knew that they would lose performance time. So the passion that you would drive is so appreciated. I'm gonna put this shared screen up. We're gonna reflect on just a few memories. I was able to go back and pull a 2004 Battle of the Band for Carter High School, and y'all know that's a great year in life. It was a great year in time. Just to be alive, and so we appreciate that. But we're gonna just kind of take a little flashback through Carter High School. Yes, Edwina, these are legends indeed. Thank you, Kiana, for the master class. Look, we had to bring them on. This is a master class tonight.
Come on, okay. So what's this? This is like Southern style. Well, who's this?
This would be more of the Southern alignment, coming from the
I just make sure, because we come from the side too. I'm just saying, but
Southern would do it every now and then. They did back in the day. If you watch their videos, you would see it happen. Majorettes are down on the sideline, ready to do a sideline routine.
They look good too.
This is on somebody old camcorder. See, back in the day. This was fall 2004, Kiana. Fall 2004, from what I'm aware of. Yes. Let me make sure. Yeah, 2004. I believe it's fall.
Come on.
Look at the lines.
Okay, because I wouldn't even
Marching.
expect it.
Twirlers on the sideline. Look, the unity. I mean, the insignias, flags in their back, working. I mean, you got a full program. Drilling.
Come on.
This is the Carter I remember. And even before this version, the 90s Carter is drilled in my head forever. It lives there rent free in my head. I just remember my brother coming home many days talking about band, and he came from Duncanville for 2 years, and he transferred his junior year to Carter. And seeing him go from that core style, Duncanville style, to coming to Carter, oh, you couldn't tell him nothing. Just hearing him play and blow in the backyard, we have to put him out the house.
Matter of fact, that was his nickname at Carter. We used to call him Duncanville.
Yes. You told me that, yeah. And I mean, he could play, but look, he was good.
You said, baby, yes, sir, I'm gonna let y'all know.
She is happy, baby. She is happy. So these girls probably tore up for hosting too. Shout out to Tonya Caston and Tonya Jackson Gasaway. Yes. Shout out to the Tonyas. The Twirl guys. Shout out to the Tonyas. So yes, the 90s band era still give me butterflies. Me too. I love looking at a good nostalgic video.
It was definitely something.
I mean,
I feel like I was supposed to be in those eras, honestly. You laughing? I'm so serious.
You served in the time that it was meant for you to serve in. Just like I was in the 2000s, you was in the mid 2000s, and look, you got what was given. We all serve our purpose, and we all have a different take. Look at the major as ready. I mean, they setup was just ready. I mean, twirling, some real twirling.
Come on, that's my song.
Look how big the majorette team was then.
Yes, you don't even have that like
you
that.
You don't see that no more. I mean, this is
not
what
here.
We're talking about. Yeah.
Okay. Come on now.
Oh, so look, they got the pom poms on the boots. I remember when Carter wore them.
They still wear those, I think. Well,
they do sometimes, yeah. But they used to wear them religiously, all the way through the early 2000s.
I like the pom pom. I remember I asked my coach, "Can we get those?" She said no. Okay.
And the reason we're showing these videos, y'all, just so y'all understand why we've shown the clip from each one, is so that you can understand the type of programs each of these people have had, and how their band also affected the auxiliaries that were had. It wasn't just an auxiliary with a band. The program was a fully functioning program. And we wanted to make sure that y'all could see or go back down memory lane to understand some of what they were able to do during their reign.
So Carter didn't have dancers? They just had majorettes?
The majorettes were part of the band. Like most traditional bands, you have your majorettes that are part of the band program, as it was color guard. And then a lot of the teams that we know today that we typically see with the band, they're still technically separated from the band, not under that umbrella, but they would perform with the band. Late 90s, early 2000s, depending on the program and the year, they may or may not perform with the band. Calicos were there. Like the Calicos still were at Carter. They've been at Carter as long as I could know, but they were not necessarily under the band umbrella all the time.
Right.
That's more of a current thing where you're seeing them with the band 24/7. Same thing with the Bluebells of Hutch. They were the drill team. They're not under the band umbrella. Same thing with many of the teams. Dallas, it was very much traditional style. The drill team is separated. There go Devondria. You know she know.
I remember her being a Calico when we used to have Diva Dance Camp. Honestly, I used to look up to her because she used to get she got the first year I went to camp, she got the Diva of the Year award. So
come on, Devondria.
She was very dedicated to her craft.
Come
So
on, Devondria.
I was inspired by that.
Look, the circle. Look, they got that circle. I was just saying that Carter used to be make that band, that marching circle like Southern.
Okay.
Yep.
Man, this is giving me flashbacks. I'm getting goosebumps watching this. Man, I grew up as a little. Look, in my young years, look at the flag. Look at the color guard. Look at the color guard. Look at the innovativeness. Look at that. She's standing on somebody or somebody's.
Okay.
This is what I'm talking about. Having those wow factors, having those moments that are memorable, but still part of the show. Band drilling. Listen to the audience. These are moments that, you know, we don't see so much anymore in the high school realm, you know, definitely on the college stage, but not so much in the high school realm no more. We gotta live for these moments. Battle of the Band was life. These battles were life back then. Yeah, come on, step two drills with the whip. Look, on three, yes, with the whip on three. Look at y'all. Y'all better know y'all band precision. All right, y'all. Look, we just gave y'all a little bit of the nostalgia that came from this show as well. Look, yeah, showstoppers. That's what I'm talking about. We see the legacy. We see the product. This is nothing new. We say we got some of the OGs, some of the legendaries. We got them. You know, I would love to see all the bands in Dallas and in any area, not just pertaining to Dallas, get back to these sizes. When you got 150 plus 200. I remember it being in band in my high school years, and we were pushing 250, coming in on 6 charter buses, 7 or 8, you know, maybe school buses. I mean, band was banding, you know, but we didn't have as much competition as some of these kids got now with all the programs and things that they have out there for them. So definitely see a lot of difference. But we are about to progress ourselves to the panel interview. I'm gonna take Mr. Baskins down momentarily. And look, y'all, if y'all don't understand, the legends have come in to share. They are dropping gems left and right. I think Kiana Lynn said it best when she said, this is definitely giving masterclass podcast tonight. Look, Kiana, you hit that on. You are hitting it. I think we've had it. I think we've been getting it almost every episode, but this one tonight definitely is going to give us masterclass vibe. And I'm glad that y'all see what we're trying to do here. All right, so we're about to move into what we call a panel interview. And this is where we're going to get to ask some of these questions. We got some predetermined questions, but definitely y'all have questions. Put them in the chat. Definitely, let them know, things that you may be wondering when it comes to band director and auxiliary. We got some good topics already lined up, but put yours in. We're going to work those in as we can in the time that we have left with them. So I'm going to bring them back up one by one, and we're going to go into our first topics tonight as we continue. Such a great conversation. So y'all have showed out tonight. Thank you. Look, we working to give y'all greatness every show. All right. So we're gonna welcome back Mr. Dean Hill to the panel. Let's make sure we can hear him. We got no technology issues. Let's see, you on mute, Mr. Hill.
All right. Can you hear me now?
All right. We hear you good. We're gonna welcome back Mr. Baskin. And then I am and Mr. Gunter should be back momentarily. I know he still was trying to work on his issue, but we're gonna get our conversation started and start with our first question of the night. All right. So our first panel question of the night. Let me get back to our right question. Here we go. So, and y'all may have touched on this, but definitely, elaborate a little bit more. Why is having an innovative band program important when it comes to show band or show band style? And y'all can go in any order you choose.
Okay, the importance of having an innovative program, you've got to appeal to your student body and community as you try to have something that everybody will be proud of and be proud to be a part of. So you want to be able to keep up with the times. If you're utilizing, R&B, hip hop, or whatever is your main thrust of your program. And of course, like being at Townview, we were, you had to have a, good concert band, symphonic, jazz band, and your marching band. So you utilize all those elements as you put stuff on the field. So it just made sense to use everything that you had.
Yeah, and like Dean said, not only keeping up with the times, but sometimes you want to think outside of the box and think ahead of time. Do stuff that people haven't seen before.
Can't hear you, Brandon.
Sorry, I be mute myself. That thinking out the box is definitely important. I definitely remember a lot of memorable shows from many programs when they step out the box and take those risks, those necessary risks that just really pulls the show together, and it really just wows the crowd, because we know battles happen, the weekly games happen, and sometimes it's easy to fall into that traditional setup. But when you take those risks, and I think watching many of the programs do it over the course of their years, you really saw a lot of magic happen on the field. When every program was trying to one up every program, it made the battles, the battle of the bands, the game nights, the memorable battles at any of the marching parades that we used to do so much better, because you had to be on your A game. You couldn't have an off day, because any off day would lead to a demise.
Yeah, my main objective at the football game was to have the crowd to go to the concession stand after we come off of the field. You stayed in the stands when the band was on the field.
That part, look. And at a traditional black game or HBCU game, look, halftime, the stands is packed. Now, any other time you can see some movement, but everybody wants to see what their show going to look like.
Right.
All right. Good. All right. Our next question, and when Gunter come back, we'll catch him up on whatever we've talked about. All right. Our next question. How did you come up with your innovative program? And I think y'all touched on this in your interview, but I'm just going to, just to keep us there. How did you come up with your innovative program? I know y'all told, you said working with a partnership, having a good staff, having those team players on your staff, but what really led to you creating what I would call an innovative program that definitely went against the grain during the time frame that y'all served?
Well, for me, at Townview, it ended up being a way to keep students in your program, because at Townview you had all of the academic, and we needed to have another component to give the students an opportunity to have where they stayed in band. And so we started to give the students their credit for PE. Otherwise, the students would be in for a year and they would be gone. So we had to have something for the students to be able to hold on to, and the marching band became a necessity for us to be able to keep the students for 4 years.
One thing I did, I used to watch a lot of drum corps, and even though we didn't march corps style, I liked some of the ideas that they came up with, and I would, convert them to show band style. Yeah, this I can do, this I can't do. But if I alter something that I saw, then it'll be something that's different. And the main thing is being different is what kept the people in the stands. I like it. People say, well, I've never seen that done before.
Brandon.
You muted.
Quay, I'm going to mute myself. Quay, you had anything you wanted to add?
No, not right now.
Okay, we're going to keep going down. Y'all, if you have any questions in our audience, feel free to put those in the comments. You can definitely do that. I may even, allow y'all to come on the screen with us tonight to talk and say any of your well wishes and flower bring in, or questions you may have for some of our greats that are here with us tonight. You said, Townview was a new era of innovation. Thanks, Shell. Look. All right. So when you think of auxiliary, what do you see? When you just think, and that's just a very general question, when you think of auxiliary in your mind as a band director, what do you see?
For me, it's like the shoelaces that tie up your shoes and just put everything together. And you can't do without them. Now, if you want to try to have them to be a little bit more splashy or whatever, you can put, instead of regular shoestrings, you can have brighter colors and all of that. But, it's a necessity to be able to pull your show together and make it more expressive. And, and that, for me, just like Doug was saying, I took those elements from drum corps and just added them to HBCU style, and thought that was the way to go, because it gave more students an opportunity to be a part of the show. And for me, seeing the students out there for the entire show made sense.
Well, like I said, I had never even heard of a flag corps until I came to Dallas. I never seen a flag corps. And then when I took over as band director at Carter, I had a flag corps. Okay, what am I supposed to do with them? So I started watching film of other school and things like that, and got a flag corps director, and we got together and had different ideas and came up with what we wanted. Not just somebody out there twirling. We wanted to be a major part of the show.
Right.
So what I'm
Because
hearing,
everybody in the band is important. Whether you play first chair or last chair, you're important to us.
and so I'm hearing both of y'all, say in your various ways that it's not, you have to go and learn what you wanted, study what you were looking for, whether you had to go look at other creative spaces and places, as well as you had to figure out how to make that an integral part of your show and not just it be there. And that, to me, makes a big difference in how a show is presented, because when we look at many programs across the board, whether it be, back in our day, elementary, middle, and high school, you see marching bands, the small marching bands, and then even now, just where you see mainly your high schools and collegiates, you can tell when a program values their auxiliary unit or the auxiliary units they carry out there, and you can tell when they are just kind of there. And
Right.
you include them into your show and they become an integral part of what you present. It creates a different atmosphere for your program and for your crowd. And I just use this as an example. Your NCAT, your North Carolina A&T, you can tell how they value auxiliary in their show. Even when it comes to Prairie View A&M University, you can tell how they value auxiliary in their show, because it levels them up to a different playing field that other bands, regardless of their history and traditions, can or cannot match ultimately, because the visuals, you can't recreate that. You have a visual, and we know NCAT, as we call them, does it at a level that's really hard to beat. They are really good at the theme shows and the creativity and the costuming and all the props and things to make and tell a story. Let's see. She said, I started off auxiliary and then switched to band, both important in marching band. Thank you, Shell. All right. Moving into our next question. The importance and impact. I think we kind of discussed that. I'm going to skip that one. What makes a great band director and auxiliary coach relationship? I think that one's important. What makes that relationship so important?
Communication, number one. As a band director, everything starts with you, but it doesn't just start with you. And if you think you have all of the ideas, you are sadly mistaken. And teamwork is what we, espouse with our students. It has to be shown from the top to the bottom. And teamwork has to be shown through the team that you assemble with your auxiliary director, percussion instructor, anyone else that's coming up. And the more help you have, the better show you have. And I don't have to have all the shine, but, it's going to come my way anyway. So it's like, well, hey, look, but the best thing for you to do is to, make sure that everybody get their shine as well and give them an opportunity to showcase what they have. And one of the things that we've been able to do is have, that TMC family. And we had what we call our, very special team of people working. And we gave them that shine whenever they, took part.
Yeah, our auxiliary sponsors were former band members. So they knew the style. They knew what I would accept, what I wouldn't accept. They knew they had just Carter band blood flowing through them. And it was to be number one and to be the best. So by you graduating from the band program, that was a step already. How can I say it? That was a step that was a giant step. I'll put it that way.
Yeah.
You already knew. This is what this is what Carter stands for, and this is what Carter wants to do, and so on and so forth.
Did you all ever happen to have any challenges that came with auxiliaries?
What is a sky blue? Well, one of the things you must say about auxiliary, it brings about special challenges. But hey, we had special people in those spots. And of course, children would be children, parents would be parents, but the buck stopped with, treating people with respect. And, you have to have a sense of what you are, trying to get over and stand for, what's right. And you treat students, parents like you would like to be treated. And that works for me, and it's worked for us for many years. And I think the people that we work with would attest to that. You were treated with respect and dignity. And that's, I think, hey, I got that from my mom. So, hey, it worked.
Yeah, once you set a standard and the people see that you're going to remain with that standard, then it's up to them to come up and meet your standard.
Yeah.
I like that.
We have a comment I want to highlight. We got so many good ones popping in, but Smith RS said, speaking to their legendary status, even in retirement, these three giants are still actively contributing to the programs in Dallas. Their influence is hard to put in words. Also, kudos to these amazing hosts. Thank you, Smith.
Thank you.
We so appreciate it. We're trying to create a platform where we can really talk about the positives and negatives in a safe space, but also, continue to come up with solutions. And hearing from these legendary, the greats, those who have paved the path before us, is always a way to continue to figure out how we got where we are and how to continue moving forward as times are changing. Our next question. How did you plan your shows? I think I spoke to this a little bit earlier in your interviews, isolated, but just in a little more detail. How did you plan your shows? Did you plan for the auxiliary or give them creative freedom? I know in some programs, has it all penciled out, mapped out in their creativity because they know what they're looking to bring. And then we know in some shows you have freedom. I've been able to work in and help and contribute in two different styles where I've had complete freedom and shows where this is the plan. We got the plan. This is what we're going to take out. So how did you plan for your shows and what was that like for you?
And putting shows together, it was like, say, for example, we're going to do a Stevie Wonder show. So we would put the team together and say, well, hey, these are the ideas that we're going to look at doing. Here's the music. And we would give each component that opportunity to go and work what they wanted to do to the music. Say, here's the fanfare. I need this. I need the color to pop here, this, that, and the other. And you have the formation, and you also, would chart out where you want your flags to go. What burst do you want to show off at a particular moment, and then when do you want to, go to a different type mood change and different things like that. So all of that was taken into consideration as you were putting the show together. And you would close it out, of course, with a strong dance routine from the dancers to cap it off, to put the cherry on the top at the end,
Yeah.
Yeah, well, what I would do, I would plan out my show and have the placement of the flag corps, and I would tell my sponsor, okay, right here, I need 64 counts. Whatever 64 counts you can come up with, fine, as long as it matches the music. And then I want you to move to this spot, because I would have it on paper. And then I want you to move to this spot. And then most of the shows, we would have a flag corps feature where the band would stand still, just like we have a majorette feature. Yeah. We would have a flag corps feature. Mm-hmm. And that attracted a lot of people to join the flag corps. Because when we start, I felt like I said, I wasn't familiar with flag corps. And when we first started out, I started off with, I think, 6. And it grew to 14, 15, 16. We had people wanting to join the flag corps, just like we had girls who wanted to try for majorettes.
Right. This question also has a second part. I'm gonna combine it into this second part. So we know that y'all, how you planned your shows, and giving a little more detail in that. How does theme musicality and color play a part of band's overall look? I know Mr. Hill kind of already touched on it in some of his response, but is there anything additional you would like to add as far as how all of that came into play?
Well, as a band director, your first objective is to, starts with the music. And then as auxiliary, and the name applies itself, is to help. So it's like the more that the flags or the dancers or whomever can add to the music, it just, adds to the show. And it makes sense to say, well, hey, depending on the level of student and the level of skill set, also adds to what you're doing. Just a regular rotation, but just like you were showing the double flags and some other things earlier, Brandon, and the different color, all of that adds to the overall presentation that you're trying to put together. And you have those types of things in mind and, what you're trying to do.
Awesome. Quay, did you want to add anything in there before we go to our next question?
Yes. So, being that I'm a dancer, and I wanted to know, like, with auxiliary, I don't know if did you all have any say so on like who would be in your auxiliary, or was it the auxiliary coordinators' part to pick who they wanted?
Yeah, our auxiliary had that was their expertise. We were there to assist. They had their tryouts and the things that had to go into that. We would have drum major tryouts, section leader tryouts, auxiliary tryouts, flags. All of this was the auxiliary was under the purview of my auxiliary sponsor. And we come together, and of course, she knew the type of students that we were looking for, and we worked together as a team.
Yeah, and at one point where we had flag tryouts, majorette tryouts, like he said, but at one point we would include the drill team in some of our formation, and they really got excited over that.
We had football team tryout.
I asked because I know, like, in high school, I know that my coordinator did pick her team, but when you transition to college, the band director has more of a say so. And I wanted to ask if, like, was it based upon, I want to know if it was based upon talent, or was it more based upon like beauty and looks and things like that? So I know in high school and college is very different, but I wanted to know if you all knew. So,
well, being that you can't discriminate if a child comes out and if he or she does not have the talent, that's a different story. Going back, I know that Xavier was talking about, he was one of the first feature twirler. We go way back. I started at the Roosevelt cluster, and I think the first twirler was Jim Billy, way back in the day. But anyway, getting back to your question, the talent is what sets the students apart. And, and they have routines and stuff that they would have to work on. They come up to the rehearsals to get the skill set. And then, of course, they have to score a certain number to be able to make the team. Everybody that tries out doesn't make the team all the time. And, of course, parents, you have to give them that information because they feel if they bought a uniform, my baby should be performing. Baby. You know how that goes. No one wants their baby not to succeed, but those things sometimes they happen. Your baby needs more work.
Right.
Definitely agree with that. Because I will cut.
Oh yeah, look here again. Hey, they might have to go to a secondary line, or whatever.
I mean, I think that's all with like being prepared to be taught correctly. So students today, they think that they're, what's the word? Obligated. They have, they don't have to work hard for it, basically.
Right.
I know, like, back then, we believe in working hard, working up, growing, and everything. So, yeah, I definitely understand.
Well, a lot of kids would think, okay, now I paid my money for my uniform. I'm going to perform. No, you paid your money for your uniform.
Yeah.
That part.
Yeah.
Okay, it's up to you. You're gonna be able to put it on and perform.
Right.
I don't know, Doug, did you have this? You get calls from parents. I want to know, how can my baby be a drum major? He or she has great dancing skills. Well, our drum majors, number one, have to be outstanding musicians, number one, because they're going to be leaders of musicians. So how do you lead a musician and you don't have any skills? So that's
right.
So because that's, our number one charge as a director is dealing with music, and then all of the other things come together after that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Now, when I was in high school in Memphis, believe it or not, our drum major wasn't in the band. He was the best dancer in school, and the band director gave him a uniform, and he was a good dancer. But I'm thinking I'm thinking to myself as a band member, that's not right. But that's the way it was run back then. But that's not the way it's run in Texas.
Let's go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Brandon,
Huh?
you have anything?
Oh no. I'm just sitting here laughing. It's a lot. I'm taking it all in, man. Look, when I say this is, man, look, I'm happy. I can sleep happy tonight. Our next question, and guys, I put in the chat for any of our visitors who want to join us live on the screen and be able to sprinkle your love and flowers to our legendaries. I know Xavier is trying to stay on. He's just having issues. I'm thinking it's connectivity issues. We've tried to do some troubleshooting behind the scenes. That's why I've been kind of quiet. But anywho, if you want to come on and sprinkle them with love, or you got a few questions you just burning to know, feel free to join us. We have a few minutes. We're getting down to our final questions, and so we have a few minutes. We won't be able to stay on too long, but we want to make sure if you want to join us, feel free. Make sure you're going to any of the Passionate Performance platforms or on our personals to go ahead and get on the back screen, and then we'll bring you up once we know we have a space for you. All right. I'm sorry. So our next question is, when pertaining to auxiliary, in your opinions, what do we need more of and what do we need less of?
I think, having the students to have a really good passion for the whole overall concept of auxiliary. Dance is one aspect, but it's not the only. And lots of times that's the only place they want to start, which is okay. But if you're trying to have an outstanding program, we understand when you first put that flag in a student's hand and they get popped upside the head, hey, that might be the only time they pick it up. But however, you've got to show them some really, lead by example, letting them know that there's a light at the end of the rainbow, so to speak, that you can do so much more and you can continue to dance too. But you're trying to have an outstanding program that requires a whole lot more than just dancers. Okay.
Right.
I think a lot of times people, because dance is kind of what's being highlighted, especially in this day and time. That's all people think to do, because of course people want to go where the spotlight shines.
Right. You're right.
But teaching them, spotlight is wherever you are. That's a phrase I've always coached by. Wherever you are is the spotlight. Is how much you gonna make it shine. So you have to put in the work, and I think that's one thing I was always glad when you did combine all of our auxiliaries at Townview, and y'all made that decision to be one unit where they could all do everything. I think that's one of the best decisions y'all ever did. I see now, and I saw it then, but definitely seeing more so now than I was when I was a kid at the time, seeing the importance of being able to function from 1 to 3, and now in my later years in life, seeing how important they really do go hand in hand. And if you can do all 3, there's so much more in a show you can do versus having to do all these transitional squad and team movements, because everybody's everywhere. And they can pick up a piece or a prop or an apparatus, and now they can go to work, versus I got to stop and bring this group on. I got to tap and bring this group off. It becomes a whole ordeal.
Right. And you said it, Brandon. It's also the exposure to it, and it's sort of like you have to show them good examples of it. And it's like, well, it's not easy though. And that's one of the things I applaud you for is having that skill set on all three apparatus, dance, flag, everything. And it's not easy. I know.
It's not. And like you said, you only gotta get popped once or twice, and either you're gonna rise to the occasion or you're gonna fall. But either way, you're gonna pick it up. And I tell them all the time, look, you get popped one good time in the eye, you ain't gonna get popped no more. It just take one time because you're gonna learn how to control it. Said Mr. B, that's my band director, taught me well, definitely a true legend. That's Tanya Jackson Gasaway. Question from Kiana Lynn. What advice would you give to smaller band programs wanting to grow in interest on campus?
The interest on campus starts with your leaders. You've got to get the leaders to buy into whatever brand you're trying to do. And they're able to get out and shake the bushes or to, get students to buy in and want to be a part. They can't be on the sideline silent. They have to be the biggest, pom-pom pushes for you. And because they're there with the students, and you got to make your program inviting to everyone and make them want to be a part. And that's your quickest way to success is having the students to do it for you.
Right.
I love his response, but I know they think along those same lines, so I understand. He's like, look, ain't no point in saying it again. I get it. All right. Shell Wade said, which game or performance during your time was the most highly anticipated for you?
Game for us? Yeah.
He's or performance. She said or performance.
Well, I'll say this because one of the things I was really proud of was being able to get the Battle of Bands back this year and being able to get the guys. There's lots of new blood in the district now, and trying to get them to recreate what we've had back in the day. And I think, and I just say this, and I know Doug will attest to this, it was one of the most biggest draws for bringing students to your program because the Battle of Bands or the talk of the town at the beginning of the school year, and you got more work out of students preparing for something like that. And, that's one of the things, you can work in your laboratories all year, but you want to be able to get out and showcase what you've been working on. And this is the time is to get them out there for the Battle of Bands. And we want to grow that back again so that students can enjoy and be able to have that to be proud of. And I know students like yourself still talk about those days when they got a chance to do it. So, yes.
Right. For us, it was the Carter Kimball football game. Yeah, it was sold out, packed.
It.
And the Battle of the Bands, but it was the Carter Kimball game. They used to put that last on the schedule.
On purpose. Y'all had to prep for that. Got to prep for that.
Man, look, them games used to be serious back in the day.
Oh, big time.
Yeah.
That was almost like a championship game. It was packed.
Lord.
And see, Dean and I did student teaching at Roosevelt.
Yes, Lord.
And Dean, remember back then, it was Roosevelt and Flock.
Boy, look, we go all the way back to those times. It's like you didn't want to be the band that went on first.
Right.
That smoke. Oh my goodness. Yes.
And that stadium was packed. They had people sitting in the aisle. You look on the other side, you couldn't even tell where the steps were because people were sitting on the steps.
I mean, I would like to see that. Okay.
Back in the day, they wouldn't put the complete show on the field until the last day because people be sitting around trying to steal what you're going to do.
I remember those days. I remember that people would come and record your show. And look, I know them days. We used to have to hide the show.
Wow. Wow.
Okay, we have a guest on. Kiana said nobody was flunking that 6 weeks. You better know it. Phil said you better know it. Night Train, Oak Cliff Super Bowl. All right, we
Yes.
have a special guest backstage. Sherry Slaughter is here, and she wanted to give some flowers, and she may have a question for you. So I'm gonna bring her up. Sherry, I'm bringing you up.
Hey,
Hey,
Hey.
Miss Sherry. Cherie, right?
Sherry.
it's
That's
Sherry.
Carter High School. That's Carter High School.
Mr. B.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'm listening, coming on here to talk to my favorite band director. I love you so much.
Thank you.
If I could go back to high school, I just only want to go back to being the marching band, okay? Want to go back. But
That's
for
all
some
right.
of the points he had, baby, you had to know your part, you know that feature, and you had to know your routine to every song that was put out there, okay? It was not a
Yep.
game. It was
Right.
I loved it. Went traded for the world. Went traded
Thank
for
you.
the world. Hello, Dean Hill. How are you,
Hey,
sir?
Sherry. I'm good, sweetheart. Hope
All
you come
right,
back
Xavier.
today.
Yes, Xavier back there in the background. Hey, Xavier. But I just want to come on and give my love to my favorite band director. I love you so much.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye, Brandy.
Bye. Thank
I have to
you.
come up. Hey, Quay.
Hey.
Don't be hating, okay?
Oh,
I
no,
see the
hate,
hate.
baby. No, we're
Water
not.
for life. Showstoppers always.
Okay.
Bye, y'all. Love y'all.
Bye,
Have
Sherry.
a good night.
Thank you so much. Look, I'd love to have him come on. Our next question, as we're getting ready to wrap up, Xavier has tried to come in. He's trying. We've been communicating. It's still kicking him out, so he may not be able to rejoin us before we get off. But it's okay because this means we're going to bring him back on so he can give in and weigh in. Because we definitely want him to have this because I know he has a lot to share. All right. The question is, what has sustained you for so many years being a band director?
The music, brother. The music. The
Yeah.
music.
Yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
look this. Music is, oh man, when you can't find the words, you can definitely get the tune for you. The love for it, it put bread on the table too. So hey, it's all good. And we've had such a run with so many outstanding students. Had I known this before I got started, oh my goodness. But yes, it's the music, the students, the parents, all of that is a part of just being, hey, it'd be like losing an arm if we didn't have it, Yes.
Right. One thing that has driven me is seeing the success of my students.
Yes, Lordy.
Like everybody knows in HBCUs, that drum major is a big job. Everybody
Yes.
knows. And we've had drum majors to go to 6 different HBCUs.
Yeah.
Kids from Carter who would become drum majors to 6 different schools and become one little room in Oak Cliff. That meant a lot. And I've had at least 9 students who become band directors.
Yeah.
Amen.
And 5 of them were in DISD.
Amen.
The same here. And going out to the club and seeing young people that are still playing that you started. I was
Right.
recently I went to see Kirk Whalen, and he opened up the show with his bassist and guitarist. And the young man playing bass, I put the first bass in his hand, Braylon Layson. And it was like, oh my God. And we were talking to him after the show, and he said, oh, Mr. Hill. But, and so many others out there that are still doing an outstanding job all across the city. We've been so lucky and blessed
Right.
to not get in the way of such talent that we've had to work with.
Right. And a lot of times I didn't realize these guys wanted to be band directors because they never came up to me and said, hey, I want to be a band director. It just said, hey, you influenced me.
Right on.
And that goes back. My mom used to say, you never know who's watching you.
Amen.
That is true.
But Dean, you speaking of Kirk Whalen. Kirk Whalen's my homeboy from Memphis.
Hello.
Yeah, he and my brother used to play together in a band.
Went to TSU.
Hey. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh God. Okay, so we have Michelle Wade said, "Music can heal the heart, or at least make you feel better," and that is definitely
It
true.
Big
does.
time.
I was having a whole little moment just when Mr. Hill was talking and saying it, and hearing Mr. Baskin reflect on music and their priorities. I started thinking of my best friend, and man, I'm trying not to tear up now because it hit real hard. Just thinking about music and people performing and all the grace, it's serious. My eyes running. I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying not to.
Okay.
We
Okay.
just say
Let it flow.
when
Let it flow. Let it flow.
But it's a happy moment. But it just lets me know he's here and he's hearing this conversation because band music, the direction of these guys meant a lot to him. And to know that he's no longer with us, but just to know that his spirit still is here because I don't get emotional. So to see this happen out of randomness, I don't shed tears. So this is very random. All right. Any other questions? We got to change the pace. Okay. So any other questions from our audience before we get to our closing question? We got about 5 minutes left before these guys are going to head out of here, and we have enjoyed so much of the knowledge and nuggets and just them helping us band auxiliary connection. We've been for weeks we've been kind of looking at all the different components that make up a band or an auxiliary unit or dance or community teams or any of that. And this week we were able to talk with band directors, and that just comes from a different angle. And I know last week I was like, we need band directors next, not knowing we already had a show booked for that. And next week is just going to take it another level, even another level higher in the notch.
Well, you were talking about music being an influence. Now, both Dean and I are retired, but we still associated with DISD bands.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is very true. And y'all still in work. Y'all still put in the work, and that's what Smith RS was saying earlier, that y'all are still doing work even in your retirement years. And that speaks of the caliber of your passion, the caliber of your love, labor of love, because even when you have time to stop and rest, you find time to still go in and do more from different angles, but you're still doing more. And that we appreciate you for, because you are still helping to build the culture and tradition of what is now the band world in Dallas, and even what will become the band world in Dallas. Shellway says, thank you all for the nostalgia and sharing the method to the madness of great bands in the FW. All right, our closing question. Oh my eye. Our closing question is this: as a band director, what is your greatest impact, and what do you want your legacy to be?
Wow. For me, impact. I'll just say one of the greatest feelings was, I had 3 different stops, starting out in elementary, John Neely Brown and William Brown Miller. We were able to impact the community, the school, with an outstanding program that people in the community were proud of, the students were proud to be a part of. We carried that on to O.W. Holmes, with those students fed right into that program, and we developed the boss band there. Did some things that no other band program was doing, like doing albums and stuff. We turned out Grammy winners from that program, and of course, they went on to other high schools such as Carter, South Oak Cliff, Booker T, and all across the city. And then we went to Townview and was able to do the same thing there. And we've just been blessed. And I think that the students that have been a part of the program is our legacy, because they continue to share their music across the country.
Right. Well, you remember earlier I was talking about doing things that were outside of the box. We used to have family dinners.
Ooh.
Before the Carter Kimball game, we would always have a family dinner, and the parents would get it together, and we would eat and all that stuff. We used to have a father-daughter date nights, not date nights, but father-daughter dinners. And then we would eat and go bowling. Then we have a father and son dinner the next week, where we would eat and go bowling, and just doing things that you wouldn't normally think of when you think of band. But as far as my legacy, I think I'm going to let other people decide what that's going to be.
You know, I think a lot of people have chimed in tonight, and even those who are watching who haven't said anything, because we've definitely had an audience tonight just to stop by and just to look and hear you guys speak. My brother was been texting me over here talking about, he's talking about, you know, Dad fixes his AC. I said, really?
Yeah, that's right.
I did not know my dad still was coming over there fixing on your AC. So it just shows how many connections you have and don't even realize it. Look, the world just keeps on spinning. But Kiliana Lynn she says, Mr. Hill Nicholas Robinson, now Dr. Robinson, is my cousin and was a part of your program. I was always so happy to cheer for him and Townby because I knew it would be a great show. Thank you for pouring into the kids, especially the young men. Yes. So Ick is your cousin, Kiana. I didn't know that. Oh, go on, Ick. That's the way Ick. Oh, Ick. Look, y'all, it has been an amazing show. I really hate that Xavier Gunter wasn't able to stay on with us due to the technology issues. But look, we're going to get him his flowers, and we're going to get him back on here on a different episode to be able to share in on the things that he did not get to share in on tonight, because I know he has a lot to say and to contribute to this conversation. Kieta Lynn says, Mr. B, thank you for blessing me with people like Sherry and Tanya. Carter people were the first people to support my programs. Amen. Wow. So it just speaks highly of the community and the effectiveness, y'all. We as a community can continue to bridge the gap, not just in the band world, but in the auxiliary world, and just continue to bridge the gap with these kids. They need more positive things to do. And as the more we continue to show how all parts of band is important and not just the ones that get the highlights, we'll continue to grow these great programs. I think we've heard that throughout tonight's conversation with our band directors that are on here. Mr. Hill, Mr. Baskin, and Mr. Gunter, even though you're not on behind the screens, but I know you'll see this. Thank y'all again for all the contributions you've made to the band world, to the program, to the community, to the generations upon generations of people that you have taught that have gone on to do more and be more because you did, because they could do. And we appreciate you for that. Quay, any final words?
I just appreciate y'all coming on here and having me have a good time. I enjoyed y'all. I'm very thankful for you all coming. Thank you for supporting our brand. And yes, I just wish more and more legacy continue. So thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys.
Y'all are welcome. I'm going to drop y'all down, and you're welcome to leave if you need to. Guys. Oh, I'm sorry. I think he was talking. I'm sorry, Mr. Hill. I took you down too fast.
Hey, no, be good. Kudos to you guys. Keep up the great work.
Yeah, keep up the good work.
Thank y'all so much. All right, y'all. It has been a wonderful show. We have had so much inspiration. Look, we trying to pump them out, Kiana. We trying to pump them out. But thank y'all for so much. We appreciate y'all, guys. It has been a great episode again. We've heard from our greats as far as their opinion on band and auxiliary, and just getting to understand that band auxiliary connection. I think that was very important and very pivotal in the conversations that we have had to have from here. Next week is promised to bring another great episode in all the things that we do. I hope y'all tune in next week. We're going to look at it from another angle yet again and to talk about it from even a higher place of learning.
I like that higher place of learning. I like that.
A higher place of learning. All right. So we'll be back next week, next Sunday, 7 p.m. sharp, Central Standard Time, that is. We will be announcing our guests soon and very soon as we get ready for the conversation for next week. But y'all, this is an amazing, amazing, amazing platform. Again, thank y'all for all of your love, all of your comments, your likes, for continuing to love on our directors. And as we leave you tonight, we're going to leave you with a little special something. But before we go, Quay, any final closing words?
Same thing. Thank you all who all tuned in. Thank you for supporting us and understanding what we're trying to do here on this platform. This is not your ordinary review. This is the building of the community kind of thing. Okay. So thank you all for chiming in and commenting, supporting, following us. Thank you. We really appreciate it. And it's more to come. And it's only going to grow from here. So thank
Only
y'all.
gonna grow. So as Mr. Hill was saying, he recorded an album back in the day with the O.W. Holmes Boss Band. And look, because Carlton Cooper is that man, and he loves to put the nostalgia on the YouTubes and all the platforms, I think it's just only befitting that we close out with just a little bit of the Boss Band of Oliver Wendell Holmes band, middle school band, back before Mr. Hill became the Townview legend that he was. And this just goes back to show how music was back in the day when it was supreme in our areas in the 90s, before we had all the technological advances that we have that are soon to come. So y'all, look, we're going to take y'all out with just a little sample of some of what the Boss Band has to do. Thank you again for another great show.
Okay.
I think it's about that time as we let them leave on some good old tunes.
Yes.
All right, we're going to head out, but y'all, just listen to a little bit of the Boss Band.
Okay.
Bye, y'all.
Hey y'all, I'm Coach Quay.
And I'm Coach Brandon.
And we're inviting you to come join us at Auxiliary the Collegiate Way. You'll be getting trained by some of the best HBCU dancers in the SWAC. You'll be learning marches and struts, stance, and choreography. This is not your ordinary stand camp. You'll be learning some of the baddest field shows on the floor.
And this camp is not just for the dancers, it's also for our twirlers and our color guard. That's right, we have collegiate instructors coming specifically to train our twirlers and our color guards on the level it takes to be a collegiate twirler and a collegiate color guard on the field and in the stands.
Oh, and don't forget about the showcase.
That's right, the showcase. On June 7th, we're inviting you out to come support the campers as we put on a showcase. Last year's showcase was amazing, so imagine what this year's showcase will be. The camp dates are June 3rd through 7th from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Camp registration per dancer is $150. However, if you are a team and you're going to be bringing 10 or more dancers, we have a special payment link for you. Hit us personally on the Passion in Performance contact, all right? Make sure you come out. Quay, let's get out of here. Hit him with the ocean beat. Oh, you ain't leaving me behind. I'm coming right after you, sis. I'm coming.